The Cleveland Cavaliers, a team that when they first traded for Donovan Mitchell, people thought their ceiling was as high as could be. And over the past 2 to 3 years now, I think it has become evidently clear this team has peaked. I believe that this Cavs team has reached their best, has reached their ceiling, and the fall off now has clearly been nothing short of inevitable. And I believe that has to start with one player, a guy I tried to warn you all about, and you still try to tell me otherwise. And that starts with Evan Mobley's offensive stagnation. A major reason this Cavs team peaked is because I warned you guys in the offseason, Evan Mobley may be near his peak as an offensive player. When you see shots like this go up, right? That's not an Evan Mobley shot. That is not a shot he is very good at. Again, he can get a 3-ball once in a while. By the way, he's at a career, now that his volume's up, the efficiency has dropped off significantly. Now he's 33% on about 4 a game, which isn't good. Now, again, Mobley is still good inside, right? He has his moments. But I've tried to warn you guys that this team would hope that Mobley had to take a peek. But I think that it's become evidently clear. You don't want him to have to put the ball on the floor. I mentioned that in my video. I got called a hater. I got told that, oh, he's young. If we did this with guys like Giannis. No. The skill set is not there. Again, is he a bad basketball player? That has never been the point. No, he is not a bad basketball player. His offensive peak has been reached, though, and for this team, that is not good. I'm going to put up his numbers right here for you guys for his career. And now that we have, I believe it's about a 5 to 6 year sample size, you tell me why I am incorrect. Assume that this is his offensive peak, that this is what he is going to be for the rest of his career. I believe the Cavs were very dependent on hoping that Mobley was going to take an offensive jump. Because with Garland's injury history being in and out, and then even then his performance at times can be up and down, this team has peaked. And it's because guys like Evan Mobley, who, fans and even league execs and stuff try to, create Super Mobley. The reality of Evan Mobley is very different. Is that a bad basketball player? No. But it's a guy who's still offensively challenged and is an elite defender. Great two-way guy, or, I wouldn't even say it. He's a, great defender with decent offense. I wouldn't go out of my way to say Mobley should create, shots like this, right? Even, that's just not your shot. That has never been your bag. At some point, Mobley, I believe, is just at his cap as an offensive player. And because of that, this team ceiling is hard capped out because, and rightfully so, mind you, this is a guy out of, the four, one of the four, they should keep. He's young. He's a great defender, better defender than Jared Allen. We don't even got to get into him. Then we want to talk about the other guy, who I think a lot of people used to say was the guy that you should keep, but I think it's Darius Garland. Darius Garland is the other reason this team has reached their ceiling and, quite frankly, will never achieve anything really of note. When we look at Darius Garland, right? If you actually want the numbers to even look at it, this Cavs team is technically better when he is off the floor. Now, there is a bit of a difference in sample size in terms of minutes, but overall, that is still crazy to think about when we talk about, this team once they get healthy and Garland's back. Now, Garland is still a pretty good shooter, but I think his ability to really get downhill and create something for himself has always been sort of rough. And that's where I think his struggles are. I mean, the dude's shooting 42% from the field this year. And part of it is, I understand he's coming back from an injury. But at the same time, we talk about the ceiling of this team. When Garland has played in the playoffs, I don't believe we've seen anything that's that, oh my God, if Garland was here, everything's changed, right? And then you get shots like this too, and it's just this is not what you are. That is not. And then you see him try and get downhill here, but Herter stays on his side the whole time, looks to try and get the call, but doesn't get anything. And again, that's part of the problem, is if Garland isn't creating the 3-ball, I believe at times he can struggle, but then he has that nice float game, right? And Garland, again, I don't think it's like Mobley, he ain't offensively challenged per se. That's crazy. But I would also say he's offensively inconsistent in terms of his scoring output. His playmaking and passing is significantly, important for this team. But I think the problem is his inconsistency as a scorer kills what this team can be. Because the idea is that Donovan Mitchell needed somebody that can be that second guy. that, you know, when Mitchell's got 25, Garland can get you 22, 23. But that's not what he's been. He's been great for them in terms of helping keep Donovan off the ball. But then he like looks for creation here against Vucevic, can't get anything. I think part of it is the turf toe probably is bothering him. But I mean, at the same time, it's like he's been hurt, I think, a bunch of this tenure with Donovan Mitchell. So now he's become a bit of a health issue, or not health issue, but he's had a bit of a health issue. Like, this is just a poor shot to me. He gets downhill, gets past Herter. I don't know what the expectation with this shot is. Like, are you actually expecting that to get through? I think it's just at times the shot selection with Garland can just be a little all over the place. And I think that at times his finishing at the rim is rough. I'll actually pull up the numbers there for you guys about his numbers at the rim. But I think that's always been an issue for Garland. So now it's like, if those things aren't falling. So I think that while Garland's still great for this team as a passer and a playmaker, their ceiling's been reached. Because frankly, his inconsistency as a scorer isn't going away. But then we want to ultimately talk about why this team has peaked. And I think it's become evidently clear. And it's not because of this player, but it's because of what this team has become around this player. We need to talk about Donovan Mitchell. I want to make something clear. To me, Donovan Mitchell gets very little blame as to why this Cavs team has peaked. But I think if we're being honest, this Cleveland team has become the Cleveland Jazz. You have your talented defensive center in Evan Mobley. He's far more offensively skilled than Rudy, but still. Garland is basically a younger, better, but hurt a lot, Mike Conley. And the whole team basically turns into, will D-Mitch score 30 plus for us to win tonight? Because if he doesn't, and if he's not doing his thing, we're screwed. The loss of some of the bench guys, the injuries I get, but still, I saw this team without Garland, without Allen last year, still go on a big run. They've gone on runs without some of their big, names on the team. But Mitchell here basically has to create everything for this team, or nobody will. He goes up against Anunoby one-on-one, right? And he's basically, by the way, Donovan's basically having a career year. Like, this is the best season of Donovan Mitchell's career. And it's basically, again, become hero ball. If I'm not scoring, and if I'm not the one with the ball in our hand, they're not going to respect us. And we're getting into that a little bit more at the very end of the video when I get to talk about that. But D-Mitch is basically having to do everything. Just look at some possessions here coming up, right? They get the ball going in the fast break. Cat's there, Allen screens, Brunson's there. Even then, Cat runs. Like, you got 2 or 3 guys basically just willing to commit to Mitchell. And now we have a better possession, right? Things are slowed down. You're not in the fast break as much. Josh Hart, Mikal, all of them are ready to go swarm if they have to. They do not trust most other players on this team to make a play for the Cavs. If it isn't D-Mitch, it's not happening. I think it's just become evidently clear. And I just feel bad for him at this point because his career is becoming the same thing over and over and over. We're even in the playoffs. The only year in the playoffs that I'm like, D-Mitch, you should have been better was that first year against the Knicks. He was dog. Every other year has basically been D-Mitch trying to solo and carry the team. So at the end of the day, when you watch these possessions, just notice how much of them are basically hoping that you could do a 5-out and that Donovan Mitchell can go and save them. Because again, now the whole team is just going to commit to stopping him and basically saying, if someone else beats us, that's cool. I don't believe that's happening, though. And that's basically what they've said. And there's just nothing more to it than that. So this Cavs team is peaked because they've ultimately become the Cleveland Jazz. And as for, if it's not Donovan Mitchell, we're cooked. So basically my point of this whole video isn't just to rag on these players, or I think my point overall is just sometimes with teams, especially after they make a big blockbuster trade like they did to acquire Donovan Mitchell, we look at the ceiling of the team and think that this team can make a big run. After acquiring Kenny Atkinson last year, even I thought that this Cavs team could be a very legitimate threat to come out of the East. And whether that was due to injuries or, honest to God, just the choke jobs of some of those games that the Cavs had done, it's become clear with the performance this year and with the league having adjusted to them overall, that I ultimately think that this team has maxed out. I believe that Darius Garland maxed out in terms of his health has been an issue. His aggressiveness as a scorer isn't really there. So that scoring punch, that, you know, that 1-2 combo that Donovan Mitchell's been hoping to play with for the majority of his damn career isn't really there. Evan Mobley offensively peaked. You guys in the comments of that Evan Mobley video try to tell me, oh, you're hating. Oh, he's so young. Oh, how do we know this? But I already showed you guys his overall career numbers. We are now at a 5 to 6 year period of his career. I do not understand how many more games would have to be shown, or years would have to be shown to display that this is just who he is as an offensive player. He cannot really put the ball on the ground. I said that in the video. I don't really think he can create for himself. If it's not a catch and shoot and it's not a putback / alley, it's not really happening. This is the Cleveland Jazz all over again. Like, this is Utah, but now we're in Cleveland. And I think that you got players like Jared Allen, who at this point, honestly, doesn't do anything. If we're being real, like, he's a good rim protector, but you already got Evan Mobley. Offensively, he's even worse, like significantly worse, like Rudy Gobert levels of bad on offense. Then you have the injury bug that has, you know, plagued this team. But some of these guys, I don't know, like, supposedly Darius Garland's turf toe can affect his entire year. So at what point, if you're Cleveland, do you not go, and you're in the second apron? So it's not like you can go and just, oh, let's go get Giannis. Oh, maybe this guy. Oh, we could bring in Laurie. No, you are stuck. And frankly, with this roster, they're a good second round exit. And quite frankly, honestly, if the offense hasn't helped Donovan Mitchell, they might lose in the first round. Frankly, guys, I just think that this Cavaliers team, we have seen their absolute best. So you guys let me know what you think down below. I appreciate all the love and support in the last video, guys. Again, we are making content that I want to talk about. I want to know what you guys think about this Cavs team. Do you think the injury bug is the only reason they've looked bad? Do you think that I'm right about the way that Garland and Mobley really cannot maximize themselves even more? As always, guys, this was Emerson Knows Hoops. I appreciate each and every one of you. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. Peace out.